keep me company. Biskies. Oh, a sweet girl. How grateful am I to be so loved? I think about this a lot. I have had so many horrible things happen to me in my life. You know, I've often had people comment to me and, you know, my therapist, friends, say things like, how are you still going? How are you still alive? I would have given up, or I couldn't take this or that or whatever it is, you know. And I think if anyone else has ever been through extreme trauma, I think maybe you'll relate to this, but oftentimes when you're going through things, you don't have the luxury of stopping and like feeling that pain. Because if you stop and you feel that pain, then you can't get shit done. You can't get stuff done. You can't go to work. You can't be a parent, for those of you who are parents. You can't be a cat parent or a dog parent, as I was for a long time. You can't be a partner. You can't show up for people, your friends, if you focus on all of the trauma, all of the things that are going really bad. And so you just sort of push through. And, you know, my therapist asked me recently, you know, are you taking on too much? Are you taking on more than you can handle to avoid feeling your feelings or to fill up all this space? And like, it's a valid question, because I can definitely think of, you know, times in the past when I've done that. But right now it's survival, baby. Yeah, it's just survival. But you know what else? Witchcraft saved me. And I've had a few other women express this to me, that witchcraft gave them their power back. And I would have to agree with that. Witchcraft gave me my power back, and I am so lucky that I found it so early in my life. I encounter so many women who, they're much older, and they're saying things like, you know, I couldn't do this, or I couldn't do that, or I felt stuck, or, you know, I was raised with a certain ideology or family structure, or whatever it was, and it took me a really long time to find witchcraft. And I just want to say that's super fucking valid. I probably can't curse. That's super freaking valid. It doesn't matter when you find it. No time is like better than the other. But if you're someone who's been through, you know, significant trauma, and you had the luxury of finding it earlier in life, I know I feel that. I feel that luck. I feel that gratitude. Because there are a lot of systemic issues in our society, religious systemic issues, racial, misogyny, patriarchy, you know, phobias of all kinds. I'm sorry, did I disturb you? But these systemic issues do not support women in their exploration of self. They don't. Instead, they encourage us to be smaller and smaller and smaller, and they encourage us to not take up space, to not be too loud, to not fight back against injustice. They tell us to toe the line and just be quiet and be kind and smile and nice and be pretty, and all of that sort of programming, that social conditioning, makes it really, really difficult for women to break free. Because when we break free, there's often not a support system either. And my goodness, I got so lucky, and I think truly a big part of that was how involved in the arts I was when I was younger. I was a theater kid through and through. I got into film really young, and there's something about the arts where this like freedom of expression is expected and encouraged. And you get to try on many hats, and you get to pretend to be so many different people. And so you develop empathy, critical thinking, problem solving, public speaking, being able to engage with other people in conversations. You have to learn how to network. And all of that introduces you to different people and different ideas. And because of that, I got to meet so many other people who were going against the grain, if you will. And I am so grateful for that. That might not be where the major focus of my career is anymore, but it is my backbone. It is my solid foundation. Everything that I'm able to do now, have the equipment to make these videos and edit them and whatever else, and combine my interest and love and passion in the arts with my passion for divine feminine reclamation and empowerment. It's all because of the arts. And that's why, when certain governments and people come into power, they wish to defund the arts as quickly as they can, because the arts are political, whether you like it or not. Anywho, now that I have my tangent, the reason I started this to begin with is to say I am so lucky to be loved at this stage in my life. And not just to be loved, but to feel love. To feel and know that I am loved. And it was just Yule and solstice, winter solstice, and I received many gifts. And I have them here. Cherry blossom tea. I'm going to do a gift haul. This beautiful necklace with not just clear quartz, but a bunch of other stones. Oh, it's so beautiful. More tea. Full moon herbal tea. This is my Yule haul. I got a beautiful moon necklace. Cleo's gonna come check it out. Unfortunately, it's not food. Sorry, honey. I received a book. I'm going to put an insert because it's in the other room, along with these little stickies and a highlighter. You want to check it out? You want to smell it? Yeah. Actual, like, beautiful stickers and a freaking bookmark. It's sniff tests. We need approval. Yeah, it smells like other places because they came from other places. This book, The Light of the Winter Solstice by Florian Izaguirre. Sorry. It's a book about the winter solstice. Check it out. Maybe we can read it together. I mean, just look at those illustrations. Oh my gosh. And I don't care that it's a children's book. Do you know how important it is to have pagan children's books? Incredibly important. This was illustrated by Maitane Bautista. Maitane. Gorgeous illustrations. And what I gifted myself was this gorgeous planner. You know what this smells like. It's our house. We were going to check it out anyway. My dad sent me a Norwegian ornament, so I have that. Yeah, I'm feeling so grateful for all of the things that I have been given, and that people love me enough that they understand me. I mean, to be understood, to be loved and to be understood, and through all of the trauma, the abuse, the pain, to feel love. That is magic. That is magic. And that, that is something that magic and witchcraft have given me back. Therapy, yoga, physical movement, connecting with nature, all of those things are really, really important. And I want to be really clear that spiritual bypassing is not it. It should never be a goal. If you are struggling with mental health, emotional health, physical health, you should first and foremost consult someone who can help you, who is a trained, licensed professional. But I am a firm believer that we can supplement, add to, begin the process of healing in spiritual ways. And witchcraft is a path forward for that. And it has been for me. And being with Goddess in ritual, being with nature and the elements in ritual, being with the gods and spirits and beings and my ancestors, and being with myself in ritual, letting my intuition flourish and open and grow. I'm so grateful and lucky and held and loved. I truly am. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that and to encourage those of you who are feeling lost or empty or broken or in need of healing and connection to reach out for those things. You know, we're in the dark of winter now. We're in the womb of the mother, in the cocoon, in the cave. We are the seed underneath the ground before we begin to blossom and grow. Maybe we haven't even taken root just yet. Maybe what we need is just a thought right now. This is the magic and the power of winter. This is the magic and the power that lies in the dark. So many patriarchal religions, so many external forces that are not in alignment with the cosmos and the cycles of nature will tell you that the dark is evil, scary, and bad. Our mythology, our folklore all of these sacred stories that we have of goddesses and gods and the land and these big heroes, those stories changed. They were transformed as we moved away from matrilineal societies, as we moved away from honoring the old gods, as we moved away from living in connection with the land. We changed our stories to justify violence, pain, different ways of living, different societal structures, and things that were often associated with the Great Mother, the Cosmic Mother, the Great Ancestress, the Goddess, whatever you want to call her, right? Things that were most often associated with women's mysteries became demonic, evil, scary, bad, dark. There's another element here. And I don't know if I made a video about it, but I certainly have an article posted about it, and I'll link it below, about inherent color morality in witchcraft and our spiritual practices. We even say things like black magic, white magic, dark magic, dark this, dark that. Oh, I'm a white witch. I'm a this, I'm a that. Maybe some of that is Robert Graves and, the white goddess and that sort of thing. But a lot of it is, dun dun dun, racism. Black, bad. Black, scary. Dark, bad. Dark, you don't want to be left out at dark and in the dark at night. We start to become afraid of the dark. Why? Patriarchy, violence, control, the disrespect of women's bodies and women's autonomy, the disrespect of non-male, cis, hetero bodies and identities, of bodies and identities that live outside of the binary, that are sacred containers, sacred transformers. The minute that these things started to become bad, we had to fear the dark because we had to fear violence. And these are imperfect thoughts. These are bedtime thoughts, right? But, it's really easy to connect the dots. And if you look at any of my older videos and you look at any of my research, you can understand the threads that I'm weaving. And if you come to my free workshops in January, you can learn more about the threads that I'm weaving. And I really do hope that I'll see you there. But this is the time for reflection, contemplation, dreaming. We are in the dreaming portal. We are in the place of transformation. We are in the space where anything is possible because we have not brought it forward yet. We have not brought it forward into the physical realms. We are in the imaginal realms. We are beyond the veil. Now, I know that we have to go by the Gregorian calendar because our society is structured on it, but that is not the original calendar. That does not line up with the world and the earth and the cosmos at all. If we look at our moon cycles, we are off, baby. The new year happened already in October. We enter the dark. We begin the new year in the dark. We begin in the dark. We are dreaming the dark. We've entered, if you think back to things that have happened in your life since October, beginnings, newness, phases, but also completions of cycles. Let these cycles complete within you. Make space for newness. And then, in February, when the earth starts to think of cracking open, make space for newness and wonder. We are dreaming the dark, and we are dreaming the light. And both of these things are beautiful to behold. We are dreaming the dark. We are dancing along the spiral. What are you dreaming in the dark? What are you calling forth? What would you like to bring forward into the light? I was also gifted Palo Santo and sage. I don't buy these things for myself anymore for cultural reasons, for close practice reasons, but if they are gifted to me, I gladly accept, of course. I prefer to burn things like juniper or spruce, things that I can easily get by walking outside, but also things that are directly connected to my own lineage. Though these are both very, very beautiful gifts. I've already used the sage a bit, and I'll be using the Palo Santo this evening. They smell incredible, and they are beautiful purifiers, but again, I prefer to use things within my own cultural lineage for cultural reasons and cultural appropriation reasons, but thank you, thank you, thank you for the beautiful gift. One of the best things to do in the winter time is you're really leaning into your winter witch and going into the dark, going into the dreaming, going into the imaginal realms, going into the womb, is to practice your spellcraft, practice your craft. Now, do as I say, not as I do. Clean your altar more than I do. Maybe. It depends on what your practice looks like, right? There are some chthonic witches or witches who are really attuned to the dead who might let their offerings rot on purpose. Maybe they've got more dust and dirt. If you were to take a look at my windowsill, for example, I have all different kinds of dirt from all of my different plants that I have, right? And I like it that way. This onion here is sucking up all the negativity in this room. But I like my altar this way. You might not. You might want it to be more clean. Totally get that. Either way. But one of the most beautiful things you can do in the dark is to practice your craft. Experiment. What would you like to leave as an offering? What feels good? Lean into your intuition in the dark. Lean into the imaginal realms. What would you like to adorn your space with? What feels good right now? What can you find outside and bring in? What are some symbols and imagery that represent the time of the year, the return of the sun, or even the dark? I have things that represent my ancestry, my culture. I have things that represent the goddess that I'm a devotee of. A cup, an offering, the mother, different crystals and candles, cauldron, Antlers, a sword for strength and masculine energy. Purple. Purple is my magic color I've discovered. I have lots of purple things. I'm really drawn to it. What feels good for you? Dreaming the dark is an imaginal space. Dreaming the dark is a dark and sacred space. This is a time for dreaming. If you had no boundaries, no borders, no limitations, what would you dream into being? If you had no one to tell you no, no financial limitations, physical, mental, job, location, what would you dream into being? Who would you be? And what would you do? What kind of world and life would you create for yourself? And how do you bring it into your reality, into the here and now? Meditate on that. Before you sleep, go into the dark and bring who you want to be into the now.